Let's go. Bases loaded, bottom of the ninth. I feel this video, I am obligated to make this video. I made a post and a lot of people, they laughed at the post, but it's okay. Like the old phrase go, laugh at my pain. But with the fact that the internet, every time you drop content, every time you drop a video, it's like fishing. And, a lot of people, the one hit away from one video, one breaking news, something happening. And I think it's very important to make this video because what happens is a lot of men, especially without money, they imagine what would life be like when they have money. But at the moment, they probably don't have money. So I'm gonna make this video and I encourage all men out there, when you finally get your first breakout check outside of student loans and you finally start to earn 20K, you get a first 20K check, do not panic. And I'm gonna say this again, do not panic, do not break down, do not go crazy. Because I made a post and I said, I used to send women cash apps. Now they're running ads from cash apps, And I told the guy, he was like, oh, FLS stands for sending women cash apps. No, FLS stands for healing. When it's all said and done, the past is over, never to return again. But you can heal from the past and you can move on. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what ethnicity you are. When you first run into money, you're gonna want to live like what you've been watching on TV is natural. And I'm gonna say this again, when you first come into money, your first breakout checks, a lot of people never touch a big check outside of student loans. They never touch a big check. Outside of a settlement, they never touch a big check. 9 out of 10, it's normal for men to get big money and have a small brain. And these are issues that people don't talk about. You'll never hear this by the D9. You'll never hear this in college. At the end of the day, I'm here to tell you, when you first make your breakout check, let it breathe, relax. And before you get your first breakout check, the only way to relax, and I'm gonna help you. If you're ready, put a 44 in the chat. I'm gonna help you how to relax. That's big, from sending cash apps to having cash app on ad respect. That's why I posted it. Honestly, the power of change. The power of change equal change. Can you say that one more time? I got you. The power of change equals new change. Let it breathe. That's why I posted it. I thought it was major. I'm gonna read this comment once again because when we post the lives, you're not gonna be able to see the comment. My man JRRD said, that's big, from sending cash apps to having cash apps run ad, respect the honesty. Let me tell you guys something. I gotta shout out Wyatt Eats. I shout him out for the video that he made because he made a salute video towards me. And he said, in order to really be a leader, you have to admit that at one point in time, you used to be a sheep. Once again, shout out to Wyatt Eats. That was that was the biggest gem, one of the biggest gems other than spiraling events. I love the spiral events, but he said, in order to be a leader, I might be paraphrasing it, but he was like, in order to be unplugged from the matrix and not care about validation, you have to admit that one point in time that you used to be a sheep. And I agree 100%. And in my situation, listen, I've been master tricking since I was 18. Not to AR myself, not to indict myself, but I've been hustling since I was 18. Not the ESPN 30 for 30 stats, but $40,000 car, 18, bruh. Master tricking with old woman, young woman. At the end of the day, I've been doing it since 18, bruh. So a lot of this content that I gave you because it's real, bruh. Whenever you have money, money comes, money goes. But at the end of the day, a lot of guys that get money situation is different. And if you, okay, well, are we back on? Put a 44 in the chat. Somebody was calling in. As soon as we try to call and give the message, people start calling my phone. And people usually call my phone. Are we back? Is there a 44 in the chat? Are we back? All right, bet. Let me tell you guys something. It's natural for men to get money and want to be John Gotti. It's natural. I want to be Italian. Shout out to Italians. It's natural. But I'm here to tell you, do not fall for the common mistake when you come into your first big check. A lot of people are not talking about this. They're just talking about monetization, and they're not telling guys how to act once they get monetized. This is why I got to make this video, because shout out to I Need Some Understanding. You know, he's monetized. So at the end of the day, I make but he seems like he has his head on his shoulder. He seems like a respectful young man. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You guys have to understand, like, I never coach I Need Some Understanding. I never coach Grind Life Production. I never coach YS Eats. I never coach CMD Comments. I never coached them. They just ran ads. They ran wild and they ran it up, but I never coached them. So at the end of the day, it's very important now that all my guys are about to cross the finish line. I just want to say, listen, when I was younger, 50 Cent had a song. It was popular. It was called I Get Money, Money I Got. Me and my friend, we used to get $200, and I did this until I seen somebody died in Philadelphia. Somebody got shot outside the club. That's when I stopped making it rain. But when I was younger and I was hustling, getting it fast, I used to get 200 ones and make it rain off a stage and watch women go and scrape the money up like little rats. I know bad behavior, but at one point in time, that was me. And you're probably thinking, how did you get on stage? I had to pay to get on stage. Welcome to the in crowd. So it was these big 300-pound bouncers from the door. I used to tell him we all together. My guys from Philly, shout out to all my guys from West Philly, West Catholic in the building. So I used to roll with guys from West Philly and Southwest Philly. So when it's all said and done, I used to go to the front bouncer. I used to be like, how much you need for your troubles? And he was like, man, now you can't cut the line. I'm like, all right, bet, 160 for my people. Next thing you know, this big 300-pound guy that was showing no love is now treating us like we're red carpet celebrities. Talking about, let him do. So I learned from young, money moves things like Magneto. And it's evil when you have that concept. So I don't want you guys to be evil. But when I was younger, yeah, we was out in the streets. Nothing was sweet. So I used to pull up to the club. I used to tell a bouncer, how much you need for your trouble? So I bet we get through one bouncer. You think go stop there? No. In order to throw $200, then I got to pay the stage bouncer. He come through. He looking at all my guys from West Philly that he never seen before. All my guys from Southwest he never seen before. We look like we look like Wu-Tang Clan in the early 90s. You feel me? They don't know us. We're not party promoters, but at the end of the day, we're young. And at this point, we had full-blown egos. Be wise as a serpent, as gentle as a dove. That's why I'm making this content, because if not, what's going to happen is you're going to get this money and you're going to turn into Nino Brown off of New Jack City. That's why I'm making this content. So I will have to pay. So the bouncer on stage, after I pay the first bouncer 160 for other people to come in, then I have to pay the next bouncer another 60 just to go on stage and make it rain 200. And this was at the age of 19, 20, 22. You feel me? But at the end of the day, I had no respect for money, and I never had respect for money. Ever since I was a kid, I don't respect money. Money comes, money goes. It's a tool. And when it's all said and done, now at the age of 39, I just want to let people know, YouTube is unreal. Everybody put a U for unreal. As we sip this latte, you know, we got to keep it real. Ha ha, Nino Brown. Nino looking at his brother. How you look at the bouncer when you deny access. I'm telling you, if you don't listen, when it's all said and done, you can think about money, dream about money, but until you have big money, you don't really know your true personality at that moment. I don't care if you're in a dark place. You could be in a dark place and you could be having Sean Combs freak-offs. So at the end of the day, depending on where you're at, I'm here to help guys not only get monetized, but be mature about the situation, because when it's all said and done, YouTube is unreal. You don't have a college degree, and this random company called Google AdSense is sending 15 Listen, when I want, listen, my YouTube check, we're not talking about, it's not a YouTube check. The lady at the teller was like, whoa, how do you want this back? YouTube is unreal. Before YouTube, there was no way, without being an entrepreneur, some guy without a college degree was going to get paid $15,000 and $20,000 checks. No way possible. YouTube is unreal. So the fact that YouTube is unreal, I want you guys to keep it real every step of the way. And I'm going to say this again. The fact that YouTube is unreal, we got to keep it real every step of the way. So when you get your first YouTube check, don't tell your family, don't tell your parents, don't tell your friends. Mark, is YouTube not a Google company? No, it's different. Good question. It's different. Google AdSense is different than YouTube. When you become monetized, it's not for YouTube, it's for Google AdSense to run ads on your page. Google AdSense is who pays you. So without capping, if somebody said, what do you do for a living? You could tell them I work for Google. As long as you're monetized, your paycheck is going to come to Chase, Bank of America. It's going to say Google. So with that being said, YouTube is unreal. I don't know without hustling illegally, I don't know without being in some type of illegal activity when in America, people could get $15,000 to $20,000 checks just by talking. You guys have to understand that's unreal, but I'm here to help you keep it real in an environment that is paying unreal money. That's unreal, bro. It's unreal, bro. When it's all said and done, I got that crazy check and I don't even edit videos. You see what I'm saying? YouTube is unreal. So with that being said, I want you guys to understand when you first get your first check, this is, if you guys want to be normal with big money, I'm going to tell you how to be normal with big money. Put a 44 in the chat. All the YouTube I watch, man, I need to start a channel. Man, I've been telling this for 5 years. I mean, like, motivation is cool. Don't get it twisted. Inspiration is cool. Don't get it twisted. But once you get the inspiration and you see how it's done, go take off yourself. Like, go get a $20,000 check yourself. I don't care what anybody says. If you, listen, first of all, before we go any further, before I finish this live, everybody put an S for the South. Oh, man, I got to finish this live, man. My battery running low, but put an S for the South. You feel me? When I made this YouTube channel, I wanted dudes from the South to make 20K. That's why I started this. Not saying I'm discriminating against the West Coast, not to saying I'm discriminating against Europe, but when I came, I started my channel in the South. Shout out to Raleigh, North Carolina. I started my channel in the South. Let me turn this battery down. We're gonna get this out. This is what makes you a content creator when you're at 2% and you gotta get something out. When it's all said and done, I started my channel in the South. So my mindset was really to help men in the South. 20K in the South, you living like a big meech without penitentiary chances. Daniel, I'm gonna read your comment again. Listen, Daniel said, 20K in the South, you living like big meech without the penitentiary chances. That's why I came to YouTube, to help men in the South see that. Forget the South. The South, listen, we don't got to worry about warehouses in the South. We go to the warehouses, we stack our crumbs, build our pie, and then outside of the warehouses, we drop content. And 20K in the South is bigger than life. 20K in LA, I mean, it's kind of, it's big, but it's still normal. You know, 20K in Miami, it's cool, but it's still normal. But 20K in Mississippi, 20K in Alabama, 20K in North Carolina, 20K in South Carolina, 20K in West Virginia. Oh, no, we're talking a whole different ballgame. So that's what I really wanted. You know, that's because I spent 13 years in the South, besides Maryland, which is still in the South. So I spent the majority of my life in the South. So when it's all said and done, I just felt like, you know what? I had to put people in the South on, and it is what it is. I mean, but now we got people like Ground Life Productions from Jersey. It is what it is, but I don't care. 20K is still good in Jersey. It's still good in New York. But that was my plan for all content creators. And now that I see this plan, the way to be normal is unless you tell your tool. Everybody put it this live. Money is nothing more than a tool. You can have 500 sitting in your account. But if you remember these words, money will never move you. It's just a tool. You could have 100K sitting in your Jordan shoebox. But if you remember, it's just a tool, money can never move you. Get to the point where money can never move you. When you're at that point, you're not going to trick. You're not going to send cash apps. But when money can move you, it's easy to send cash apps. When money can move you, it's easy to tell a woman, where you want to go? Jamaica, Aruba, ooh, I want to take you. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy at that point to fall victim when you think money is power. But I'm here to tell you, money is not power. It's just a tool. And if you tell yourself money is a tool, you'll always be cool. And never look like a fool. Not trying to rhyme, but one more time before I finish this live. If you tell yourself money is nothing more than a tool, you'll never look like a fool and you'll always remain cool. It's just a tool. Nothing more, nothing less. You feel me? Cute. You gotta know how. A lot of people are not talking about that, but whatever you spend, cool. That's funny. My favorite band name is Tool, Mr. Never Local, bro. Hey man, shout out to you in the building. But you guys have to understand, money is a tool. Whatever you buy, ask yourself, if I can't recoup it, do I need it? And if you can't recoup it, it's stupid. Don't purchase it. Shout out to the UK, my first place, Paddington, UK. That's why I ride, Paddington, UK. Well, my money was tight. Next time we got to come back to Canary Wharf for another place. But shout out to Paddington. That was the first place I pulled up. Shout out to Paddington, UK. Let's go, right by the train station. You know the vibes. Let it breathe.